Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to TRG Central. Tonight we're doing a special presentation of a race that was run on the Alpha Games around in Facebook. This race is called let me see, Bay City Stakes. Robert Mosher is the person that ran the race, and it used the APBA Saddle Racing board game. And from the notes here, it says it's APBA Saddle Racing 9 legendary horses battle in the first Bay City Stakes. Well, it took a little bit of my fancy here and thinking, maybe I should get out the Windows version and replay his race and see what happened. But I did add a little twist to it, and the twist is I added American Pharaoh to the mix. So anyway, as you can see, I've started up the Saddle Racing game for Windows, and we can go right over to feature races.
Welcome to APBA Downs home.
And the create a race, so you have to click on create it, not one of the 20 feature races that come with the original horse sets. And then you come down here and you can see it's the Bay City Stakes. So get the horses, and you see here's the 9 horses that were running his Bay City Stakes race, and I added American Pharaoh to the race and slotted him 10. The next thing we can do is just view the race card. This gives you the odds
Track
to the
conditions
race.
are fast.
There's the odds, and then there's the odds to $1. The odds I usually consider the morning line. If you know anything about the Alpha Saddle Racing board game, you'll know what the index is. Index 1 is the best index. It allows the horses to perform the best off of what they call a results chart. And in the Saddle Racing game for Windows, you can either control all the horses, or a portion of the horses, or none of the horses. There's an option called Spectator Mode. Spectator Mode runs the race for you. It does all the maneuvering of the horses around the track. If you wanted to get involved in the race, you can have the AJ with the auto jockey set to no. And that means in this particular instance, if I start running the race, I have to control all the horses myself. But if I have a favorite that I want to run, I can change the N to Y, and that means auto jockey will run those horses, and then I run any of the horses or horse that is no. So what we can do one of two things. I think I'm just gonna run the race in simulate mode, and you can kind of watch the race. That's the fastest that you can view a race. So if you want to start the race, and I'm not gonna do any wagering, but I can do track handicapper, and the home stretch Harry handicap shows the citation is the favorite, and American Pharaoh is actually the least favorite. And that he also considers what post position they're in. There's a little algorithm that he knows which post positions normally have an advantage. And that's probably why American Pharaoh is rated a little low. let's go ahead and start the race.
And we're waiting for number 10.
And here you have the APBA Saddle Racing racetrack with a little bit of fluff. You can see a few things on the track to give it a little better presentation. Here's our 10 horses. You can stroll over them with the mouse to give you the horses that are in each of the post positions. You click the horse, it pops up with a little information about the horse. Now, when I originally created this game, APBA did not want me to present the horse cards within the game. So, I have a switch which I can turn off and on based on the user ID. And this little button becomes enabled, and voila, here's the
hot dog! Ballpark hot dog!
So, yes, now let's do this again. Move this kind of out of the way, and then put the card. And there you have citations card from 1948. Also gives you a few more pieces of information. There's an endurance that was created for the horses for the Windows game, and that endurance is equivalent to furlongs. Before he starts getting tired. The weight is, if you want to handicap the horse, his average weight is 126. If you give him either more weight or less weight, that will affect the horse during the race. This here is just a troubleshooting number of location on the track. You're in phase 2, lane 1, phase 2, lane 2, and that just gives me whenever was any type of troubleshooting issues with plotting or something. You can take a look at this and see where the game thinks the horse is. Okay, so let's go ahead. We'll run this thing in spectator mode, and I think it's going to be relatively fast because of the machine we're running on. We have an option up here called Race Speed Regulator. Click it. It allows you to either speed up or slow down the race. So let's slow it down a little bit. And here, normally what I would suggest to anybody that has the game is that you would have to run the race and see how fast it is on your PC, and then try to adjust his speed regulator to what speed you like to watch the race from. A little race information. If they said any stakes, a track, if there was any records, it will show up here. We're running 10 furlongs fast. And the same thing here, we have the movement points. You can use the arrows and the horses inside out and whatnot. If you wanted to run auto jockey the rest of the turn. That's the button to do that. Play it manually. You can roll the dice here. There's also an option behind the scenes that you can turn off and on and allow you to enter your own dice rolls.
This crowd is wild.
I think that's about it. So I'm gonna just go ahead and run it in spectator mode. You can sit back and watch. I might be tempted to run the race again in manual mode and move some horses myself. So let's just sit back and watch the race in spectator mode. Okay, it gives you one last chance. Once you click yes, the race is gonna run. Clicking no, you can go back and do a manual reset and like you see here's the option for manually, and I haven't highlighted it, so I could have just rolled the dice. In fact, I could have, since you see the dice in Robert's YouTube video, I could actually replay the race by just entering his dice rolls for every movement. That might be another interesting thing to try out. I hadn't really thought of that until just now. So anyway, we're going to run it in spectator mode. Sit back and enjoy the race.
This crowd is wild.
In they're off. The race is finished.
And there you have it.
The APBA world record is broken.
Have citation winning, John Henry second, Man of War third, and American Pharaoh fourth. Looks like I had it set up to distribute the $2 million purse among 5 horses. So citation win was $10, place $380, and show $280. And you see all the horses carried 126. So any injuries or suspensions or inquiries, they would show up here, and then some miscellaneous information would show up there. In this case, it looks like there's an APBA world record broken by citation. That means that all the races I run and saved, the 158.050 is the fastest 10 furlong race that we've ever run. That's kind of interesting that it happened, because there's probably hundreds and thousands of races before this. So, we'll go ahead and save this fast. Why not? And if we wanted to run the race again, we can just start it up right back here, go right back into it, and we can run the race in manual mode and allow the users to use the horses on their own. In fact, I think if you had some type of sharing software like Zoom, you could have everybody that has a horse in the race actually control their own races by giving that person control of the screen and letting them move the horses themselves. Thinking about this, but I think Zoom sessions will work real good with being able to have some people together and be able to
Hot dog! Ballpark! Hot dog!
and then whoever, like, and if there's horses left over, not enough people to control them, they can be on the auto jockey. And we also have a little feature called Up and Down Day at the races. It was kind of cool when I was creating it. Essentially what that does is it gives you a day of races, like 8 or 9 races, all filled in with horses and different types of races. And it's more the day of the races started, and all the wagering that's done within the day of the races is accumulated, and you can have, besides the sable winning or losing races with a player, you can also track their wagers too. Well, I think that's about it. Probably spent way too much time jibber jabbing about the features of this game. But anyway, I thought it was kind of interesting to see if I could recreate the first annual Bay City Stakes. Let me see. Yeah, I don't remember exactly who did win that race, if it was citation or not. But anyway, I thought it would be a little interesting thing to take up my time here on New Year's Eve. So this is Gary signing off from TRG Central. Hopefully you enjoy your New Year's Eve and New Year's Day.